better part of the last 15 minutes or so. To bring you up to date, we are looking at a white Audi that is allegedly being driven by a woman. There is a female passenger in the car with her as well. This is according to the police. This began with a fraud call in Opelika that evidently resulted in the women assaulting an officer who came as a result of that call. The women then got into their Audi and sped away. And now we see the chase, and there are any number of about a half a dozen or so police officers, probably more, following after this Audi right now. It's circling around in northwest Miami-Dade, right at the height of the rush hour, just as it's beginning here. And so a dangerous time to be driving these kinds of speeds through residential areas, but that's exactly what's going on.
Fortunately, we're not seeing a lot of people outside, so that's good. People are hopefully heeding the warning and staying inside. Don't go out and become curious, because that's a dangerous thing to do. But from what I can tell, I think I keep seeing the same houses over and over again, as if there's almost maybe a pattern going on here with these apparently two women in the cars, we're being told, who fled after some kind of assault on an officer. We don't exactly know what that assault is. We are gathering information in the newsroom as we speak, and as soon as we get more details, we will bring it to you on exactly what the assault was. But we know it started as some kind of fraud call that resulted in an assault on a police officer by these two women who are allegedly now in this car speeding off. It happened in Opelika, and it ended up here in northwest Miami-Dade. We also know that this white Audi that Chopper 4 has been over for some time now has a temporary license tag on it. Miami-Dade police releasing that to us just a few minutes ago. Again, this is in the area of Northwest 22nd Avenue and 112th Drive here. And
we watched this car there. It looks like they might have just had a little bit of a problem with maybe a rear tire or something. There's quite a bit of smoke now coming out of the back of that vehicle. It looked like it might have hit a little blip in the highway. We'll see. It'll be interesting to watch and see exactly what this does. The ability of the driver to really use the speed of this car as it goes through traffic. Elliot has been watching this with us in the newsroom, and it's hard to tell, Elliot. Maybe they blew a tire here. It's a little tough from this angle.
Yeah, Rick, that's exactly what we're thinking. The car has blown a tire. Now, at this point, I want to let our viewers know that this live picture you're looking at is on a delay. And every time, guys, that we see this car head toward an intersection, we have to cringe, especially since we've seen tragedies in the past with people like this who are being followed by police and driving so recklessly through the streets, especially at such a busy part of time. But again, the picture is on a delay. We're following this for you, of course, because this is such a dangerous situation. And Rick and Cynthia, you guys have said it, that anybody in this area, please, you have to stay indoors. If you know anybody in this part of town, give them a call and tell them there's a very dangerous situation going on right now. We saw school buses a little while ago. There may very well be pedestrians over there, and the people in this car are not stopping. As we've been reporting, Miami-Dade police are telling us it's two women in there. This started as a result of a fraud call that turned out into some sort of assault on a police officer in Opelika, and that car has been followed from Opelika into northwest Miami-Dade, and you can see it's making turns there. It's got, we believe, one blown out tire, but it is not stopping. The driver of that car just won't stop, basically driving in circles, making random left and right turns and even U-turns, with the Miami-Dade and Opelika police right behind the woman behind the wheel of that car. That's the information we have from police. As you can see, it's got tinted windows. We can't really see anything inside, but we're told by police that they believe there are two women inside this white Audi that's being followed right now by police. Guys?
It looked like something just fell off the back right tire of the car. I'm not sure, but it looked like something did. Maybe that's the tire that we think may be blown out, because there was a burst of smoke there from the back, and you can see plumes of smoke coming as the car continues to flee. We understand there are likely two women in that car. You got to wonder what the conversation is going on and where they think they're going when there are three police officers closely behind on their tail, waiting for them to either stop and try to run or just give up on this chase.
Well, close behind is right. I mean, you can see that patrol car right there. Looks like it's trying to pull up alongside of the Audi right now. Got to be careful, of course, because of oncoming traffic there. So the police officers got to be very careful. But if there are bits and pieces of that blown out tire, one or two that are coming off, that is potentially good news, because once that tire goes away and the driver is forced to drive around just simply basically on the rims of that tire, they are not going to be able to get very far. And so you can see there are the tires are still on there, but it looks as though one or maybe both of those back tires are flat. As the police get even closer and closer, we can look down now in through the top of that windshield. The sunroof obviously is closed. We can't get too good of a view here, but this driver, even with the tire problems, and again, our apology for the jerkiness on the camera there on our chopper, even with those tire problems, the car and the driver are able to pick up some pretty good speed there.
Is this a good
location? This, we do want to reiterate, is on a delay. We do that for our viewers out there, because we don't know. What we don't know is if these women inside the car are armed with anything. We know that allegedly they assaulted a police officer. We don't know how. We don't know with what. We don't know if they are armed. So we don't know, of course, obviously, how this is going to end. So that's why we put it on a little bit of a delay in case there's something a little too graphic to air. We want to bring in Elliot Rodriguez now, who is monitoring the situation and has some new information for us. Elliot?
Yeah, that's right, Cynthia. We do have some new information, and we're doing our best, guys, to try to give you an accurate location of where this is happening. And we just got some word now from our assignment desk that we believe this is now in the city of Miami, and we believe this is near Northwest 46th Street and 17th Avenue. Now, that is quite a ways away from where this chase was happening about 10-15 minutes ago, which would have been the Opa-locka, Northwest Miami-Dade area. Now, this appears to be the city of Miami. Again, 46th Street and 17th Avenue, and the car is slowing down.
All right. Well, we knew this is the way these things end, and the police officer's gun drawn going up to both sides of that vehicle. Again, we understand there are two women inside, one of them now being pulled out of the driver's side. It looks as though officers on the other side are trying to get the door open to get the other person out. That person coming out and again being put down onto the ground. We're watching this all on a delay. In the event that anything happens, anything violent happens, we will absolutely make sure that is not broadcast. And so we've got this on a delay right now, but the car pulled over. And two people taken out of the car so far.
You can see the person in the blue shirt getting put in the back of the cop car right there, in cop car 1757A. That is looked like that was the driver who got pulled out first. All we could tell were there's some dark slacks and a turquoise shirt. You can see the back right tire. The whole car is smoking right now. And it looked like there was a second person who's pulled over. Not sure what's going on there on the top middle portion of your screen, but it may be a person there on the ground. Yep, that looks like that is the second person who was in the car who they are walking over. Yes, it is a female. They had said from the beginning these are two females. We had one in the turquoise shirt who was the driver, who was already in the police officer's car, and then the second person in the car who was in the black shirt there. And look at this.
Well, you can see why they pulled over when they did. Smoke coming through, basically enveloping the entire vehicle. Just to remind you once again, we got word from Miami-Dade police that this began as a fraud call in Opa-locka. Police called to the scene of whatever this fraud was about, and it was during that call that these two women allegedly assaulted the officer, then got into that white car and began this police chase just before 5 o'clock or so, about 10 minutes before 5, so about 19 minutes or so ago. And you can see the police presence there, the number of officers responding both from Opa-locka and also from Miami-Dade, and there are flames in that car.
Yeah, there are obviously this car very hot, overheated, and you can see that there are flames underneath the car here, and the grass has now caught on fire. Again, we kept mentioning Opa-locka. That's where this whole thing apparently started, according to Miami-Dade police. But the area it is in right now is the city of Miami, in the area of Northwest 46th Street and 17th Avenue. We're trying to get more of an exact location for you, but that is the general area here, and this is where this chase has finally come to an end. Of course, there is concern now because a fire has started here underneath this white Audi that was on the run with two women inside.
Well, you have to think that there will be some firefighters there on the scene very quickly. There's certainly a big response as a result of this chase, and so they will be able to, I'm quite sure they'll be able to put those flames under control, get them extinguished before anything more serious happens with the fire. But we did see two women taken out of that Audi and put into the back of patrol cars, and obviously they are going to be taken down and questioned and charged for the crimes crimes that they've committed today, leading police on a chase around Opa-locka into northwest Miami-Dade and, as Cynthia said, into the area of Northwest 46th Street and 17th Avenue in the city of Miami. And you have to think, Cynthia, that there were...
It's 7 News at 6.
We get started with that developing story. 2 women lead police on a wild chase. Hello and welcome, everyone. Police say it started with a crime in one city.
And it ended in another. 7 News reporter Kevin Ozebek live for us on the scene in Miami, where it ended a short while ago. Kevin?
And Craig and Belkey, you can see the white Audi these 2 women were in is still here at the scene, but it looks like crews here are getting ready to tow that car away. Those 2 women who led police on that chase are also still here. Right now, they are in those 2 Opa-locka police cruisers you see over there. 7 Skyforce followed this chase almost from beginning to end. It all started up in Opa-locka, and for about 20 minutes, the 2 women who were inside that Audi were able to elude a lot of police officers. This chase went from Opa-locka to northwest Miami-Dade and finally ended here in the city of Miami. And if you take a look at our next piece of video, you can see at one point those 2 women hit a bump or some sort of object in the road, and they even went airborne. That white Audi actually left the street and for a few moments was actually airborne. But despite that, those 2 women were not injured as far as we know right now. Also, those 2 women, even though they were eluding police for a good 20 minutes, did not hit any other cars. No people were injured in this chase. Finally, this is where the chase ended, here at 46th Street and 16th Court. You can see those women finally bailed out of the car, and the Audi started to become filled with smoke. And at one point, we even saw a few flames next to the Audi. Miami Fire Rescue was also here at one point. They doused a few flames that were next to the Audi. It looks like a patch of grass was on fire. We're not sure if the women bailed the car because there was some sort of mechanical issue and it was filling up with smoke, or if they just wanted to finally give up and concede to police. We can also now show you some video we shot just from a few moments ago. As soon as those women were in police custody, we were there as they were cuffed and taken into those 2 cruisers. As of right now, we are still waiting to figure out the identity of these 2 women, but we just spoke to one man who saw police approach the vehicle as soon as the Audi. This is what he saw. How fast, once this ended, once that Audi stopped, how long did it take for police officers to get to that Audi and open those doors?
Man, they were right there. Right there. As it happened, right there. As it stopped, they got out.
And this is where this all started, at a Wells Fargo on 131st Street and in Opa. According to Opa-locka police, there was a at that bank. Police officers arrived there, and apparently these 2 women tried to ram a police officer with that Audi. We are told that officer is okay, that officer was not injured, but that's how this chase started. And if we come back out here live, you can see the Audi is now on a flatbed, and it's getting ready to be removed here from the scene. So that is the latest live here in Miami where this chase ended. I'm Kevin Ozebek, 7 News.